the spiritual gurus can provide us that confidence. They can instill that confidence and help us get spirituality and dharma into statecraft.
G20 में वासुदेव कुटुंबकम आ चुका है और अब हम इसके ऊपर एक विश्वास के साथ चर्चा कर सकते हैं.
United Nations has spectacularly failed us.
We need to decolonize our thought processes.
The concept which the Honorable Prime Minister has also put in place and India has to offer to the world is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam.
All policies that have to be adopted for the next world order from the Shastras, from the traditions.
This balance between spiritualism and geopolitics is very essential.
A spiritual sovereign, some of his ideas pertaining to technology or pertaining to the Middle Eastern crisis, they are absolutely enlightening.
Indian family system is being looked at as a model for the world to look after itself in these troubled times.
How can startups play a role in propagating a Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam?
આપણને એક અવસર મળ્યો છે અહીંયા ભારતને વિશ્વગુરુ બનાવવા માટેનો.
If the world has to listen to India, India has to be strong.
This conclave actually tells us the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam and how we need to move forward.
So while you mentioned technology, so with the advancement in technology such as large language models, could be OpenAI's GPT, Chat GPT, and the whole stack of technologies that we have, and also parallelly while we had discussions today about non-state actors who basically portray themselves as being good, and then comes the picture of basically these tech companies who have become too powerful. How do you place all of these things within the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam? Is technology itself becoming an enabling factor towards this goal, or is it somewhere creating an imbalance that is already present in the global order?
Good question, and I'm glad you asked it, because technology is a tool. It depends what application you put it to. Nuclear power, for example, can be used to make a weapon, and it can also be used to provide electricity into your house. It can be used for the MRI machine, which is in health. So it is in the hands of the human being to decide what they do with the technology. Now, when we look at technology, we have alternatives. There are open source solutions which everybody is utilizing, and it is available for anybody to use, and lowers the barrier to entry. And the same way, look at the India stack. India has something to offer, and look at the volume of people we have in India. As I've said before, India, because of its size, works at a different scale, and we talk about, which I call as a juggernaut scale. It's a different scale because the volume of people that we have, the UPI transactions that we have, the number of people utilizing it. Look at Aadhaar. So many people having a database, being able to get direct banking to the bottom of the pyramid, getting them access. All these are done through technology. And India is known as a technology powerhouse, especially in IT. So we can provide these technologies for the world. And now I think the world is taking note of the India stack, and many countries would love to have similar solutions. So technology is an enabling factor as long as we use it to that end.
In your discussions today, you did mention that state is separate from the church, but at the same time, it's not, how would you put it, like you would not want a delineation, if I may say so, between religion and spirituality and the state. So what key takeaways from your interactions with Guruji would be the guiding light for statecraft from the perspective of spirituality and religion?
That's good question. Essentially, if you look at many of the Western countries, they are secular, but many would would say that they are based on Christian values, but they are secular. India is a secular country. But the separation of church and state is good. But if you look at the kind of, financial crises of 2008, 2009, many of these problems which have happened, you would say that in many cases we have a situation where a thief is not a thief until he or she is not caught. So that in many of those situations, the person knows what they are doing, but they have lost the confidence that what they're doing wrong can come back to bite them.
Right.
So there's a trust deficit, and I made that request that the global spiritual gurus can help instill that confidence in the system, because they are the ones who can show that what goes around comes around. That is very important. And I'll give another very straightforward example. Coca-Cola is one of the most recognized brands. Many of the aerated drinks are sold worldwide. But then when Baba Ramdev came onto the scene and he said whatever he said, it made a dent in the sales in India. At least in India that I know of, there was a dent in the sales of these aerated drinks. Why was he able to do it? Is because he provided that confidence to people because of what he had done. The spiritual gurus can provide us that confidence. They can instill that confidence and help us get spirituality and dharma into statecraft. And that link is where it is important. I'm not saying to link any religion. We maintain a distance, and that's a respectable distance of church and state, or any religion and state. But dharma and spirituality has to be provided as a guiding star. Else in many situations, the person who's making the, utilizing the trust deficit, for a lack of better term, knows what he or she is doing. So like we have tax deducted at source, or tax at source, we need ethics at source. Else downstream we come to know this is what happened so many years ago, or so and so was done, and he's moved on. And then we are doing a back of envelope analysis, which can all be cleaned up if people have more confidence, and that can be provided by the spiritual gurus of the world. That is the concept.
So that is all for now, sir. Thank you, and thanks a lot for providing us with your valuable insight and being at this event and gracing us with your presence. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.